All right. Well, thank you guys for making the time to be here today, whether you're joining us live or you're watching the recording. This is a class that we keep doing it over and over again because we have such a need for it, especially right now. Definitely one of the most popular ones. And this is the Oils for Empaths class. So we're going to be talking today not just about oils that you can use to help release negative energies, set those healthy energetic boundaries, but also share a couple really simple practices that you can put into action right now or whenever you need to. So again, thank you for joining us. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see, and I may be kind of letting people in throughout the call. And if you have questions throughout this, there is a chat box at the end. If you wouldn't mind any questions that pop up, put them in the chat box and we'll wait to the end to get to all the questions, just so I make sure I don't miss anything. Yeah, with that, let's get going. All right, welcome. Hey, Sasha, thanks for jumping on. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so y'all can see the presentation. So these are the oils we're going to be working with today. So if you do have any of these on hand, go ahead and grab them. If they're all over your house and you only have time to grab a couple of them, On Guard and Tea Tree are going to be the main ones. They're very, very good. Let's see. Oh, Sasha's doing dinner with an angry toddler. Totally understand that. So this will be recorded, so if you need to look back on it. But Sasha, I'm just glad that you are here with us. All right. So this is actually a class that I normally teach with my partner, Becky. She's handling the kiddos right now, but she did put this amazing presentation together. So I do want to give her credit because she is very knowledgeable. So if you want more support on this topic after, you can reach out to myself or Becky. So the oils in today's class: ginger, On Guard, adaptive, bergamot, rose, patchouli, tea tree, also known as melaleuca, forgive or breathe. So these are going to be the oils and blends that we're focusing on. And I just want to real quickly define a couple terms because they may be unfamiliar to some of you guys. But an empath, that's someone who senses or feels the emotions or energies of other people or environments. Affirmations, these are going to be positive statements that you're declaring as your truth. Affirmations are powerful, guys. I love to work with them in my workshops because they maximize the oils and practices by aligning your heart, mind, and body. When all three of those things are in alignment, everything just flows. Discernment, this is a big one, and a lot of empaths are just kind of starting to learn what this is. But discernment is the ability to tell the difference between your feelings and somebody else's. Energetic cleansing, these are practices to help release any stagnant negative energy or tension in the body. And then boundaries. So we're actually going to be covering a few different types of boundaries there, but these are protective barriers that you can control. I know sometimes as an empath, it feels like you don't have control of this, but you do. These can be physical, emotional, or energetic boundaries. Now, some people, when they hear the word boundaries, they automatically, their brain puts up a big image of a wall. Now, that's not what I'm talking about. Boundaries don't mean walls. We're going to learn how to keep your heart open so you can serve yourself and others best, but making sure that you're not letting certain people or things or situations drain you of your essence, right? Okay. So if you have not yet taken the Essential Oil Basics class, we do recommend taking that before any of our more in-depth classes, and that's offered every Saturday at 1 p.m. Central. Some of our other leaders do offer it throughout the week as well. If you are more needing a one-on-one situation, we can definitely do that for you as well. But just a quick recap of how aromatherapy works, because if you're joining this, maybe you're, what some people call woo-woo, and you haven't yet actually been exposed to the science behind essential oils. So when you breathe in essential oil molecules, it is going into the olfactory system, which is your sense of smell, and it's directly connected to your limbic system. And that's the part of your brain that's controlling your heart rate, your breathing, your memory, it's how your body is reacting to your emotions. So that's why we can have a very, very quick response, like as little as 30 seconds, to breathing in these aromatic molecules. And you can also put them on your body topically in the skin. That's your largest organ in the body. It absorbs essential oils very easily. And that's how it gets into the bloodstream and affects all of your body systems. So just a quick recap, oils really are very scientific, especially the ones we're going to be talking about today. And we are talking about doTERRA oils. So maybe you've tried some different, there's lots of different levels of oils. There's synthetic, which is most common. This is what you see in most like lotions and perfumes and hair products, things like that. Scented candles and plugins, that's synthetic. And those are actually very harmful for your body. There's a lot of studies going on. People are really trying to become aware of what you're putting on and around your body because it really does matter. Then there is the food grade quality. And that's, you see essential oils in all kinds of food. Then there's the therapeutic. Now, therapeutic is it's unregulated. So unfortunately, you can get a bottle of oil off Amazon or from your Whole Foods store, and it says therapeutic grade. And you would think that that means that it truly is therapeutic grade, but unfortunately, it's not. They can put whatever they want on the bottle, and there could not be a single drop of what they're saying is in that oil in the bottle. So really important that you do your research and choose an oil that has gone through the proper testing. Now, I definitely am going to be talking about doTERRA's oils. These are tested above and beyond organic, above and beyond what any other company is doing in the market. They've really set a new standard for purity, which is why doTERRA oils are the most tested, most trusted, and why we've been partnered with so many prestigious medical facilities and doctors who are using and prescribing our oils to get to the root cause of physical and emotional issues. Now, this is especially important to use high-grade essential oils when you are working with your energetic self, because if you're using a synthetic oil, that's a very low frequency. You don't want to be putting low frequency or adulterated things on or around your body because it's going to lower your vibration. So stick with the high quality stuff. It's not only going to make sure you're staying protected physically and nothing is harming you, but energetically, you want the highest vibrational oils as possible. So if you want any more information on that, again, come to the basics class. You can truly understand the how-tos, the safety, and how to really most effectively use these oils, because they can help you not just for your spiritual self, but your emotional and physical self as well. All connected. All right, so if you've got your oils out, let's grab Ginger, On Guard, and Adaptive. We're going to talk about these ones first. And these are the oils that I love to use to support empowerment and bravery in my life. So let's first talk about Ginger. So Ginger is one that I bust out if I'm feeling powerless. Maybe I'm struggling with that victim mentality. And if you don't struggle with this, maybe you guys are coming because you work with clients who have these things going on or loved ones that are struggling. So I just want to applaud you, not for only coming for your own personal well-being, but really thinking about those people that you care about in your life that could use some help with this. So if you know somebody, send them my way. I will take very good care of them and give you some hookups for referring them to me. Now, ginger is the positive properties of this oil. They shift you into feeling more committed, capable, and purposeful. So I've heard from a lot of people recently that they just feel lost. They're like, I don't even know what my purpose is anymore. And ginger is a wonderful oil to help make that shift. Now, On Guard is a blend. Oh my goodness, I can't say enough good things about this beautiful blend. It is a protective blend of oils. So it's got clove, wild orange, cinnamon. It's a very warming oil. And I use this physically to protect myself and my family against environmental threats, keep our immune systems functioning at its best. But emotionally and energetically, I love to use this when I am feeling attacked and vulnerable. I remember when I was pregnant with my son, just like going out into the world felt so scary. I was actually working with Victoria Vine. She's an amazing, if you guys need some help, like EMT tapping, EFT tapping, any kind of support with that stuff, she's amazing. Just throwing you that way. But I remember talking with you, Victoria, when I was pregnant about how vulnerable I felt. Like it just felt so scary. And On Guard was like, seriously, guys, the only way I could go out into public and not feel like I was having a panic attack. And I know for a lot of us making the transition back into the real world, we feel vulnerable, we feel open. So On Guard is a wonderful oil to not just protect your immune system, but to have you feeling strengthened, capable, and protected. Now, adaptive, this is whole. It has got me through this past year. It's the blend specifically for stress and anxiety. And the name is perfect because it helps you adapt to your changing surroundings and situations. So if you've been feeling a lot of fear and overwhelm, resisting all the changes going on in your life, adaptive is a beautiful blend. I know, Adarias, you're a big fan of that adaptive blend. You've been having a lot of changes in your life recently. So adaptive is great for helping you transition to feeling more spacious, like you can just breathe. It's not like everything's not weighing you down. You are able to speak your truth. So if that's something that you're working on, putting adaptive over your throat is a really good way to help you feel self-assured and able to speak your truth. So I'm going to talk now about how some just easy ways to incorporate these oils into your daily routine to support those qualities of empowerment and bravery. So for ginger, this is one of my favorite oils to make what I call empowerment tea. So you can just get a cup of warm water, put a drop of ginger, and I love to add like wild orange oil or maybe lemon oil, one of the other citruses. And then if you like it sweet, add a little bit of honey in there. But this blend of the ginger and the citruses is not only empowering, but it's extremely uplifting. Now, as you're sitting there enjoying that warm cup of tea, breathe in those aromas and affirm your power. On Guard, I love to use this. I do recommend diluting it because it is one of those warmer blends. So if you have sensitive skin, it's going to feel hot and spicy. So definitely use a carrier oil to dilute. And you're going to apply this to your entire spine or over your heart. For me, when I was feeling especially vulnerable, I put it everywhere. My heart, my spine, the left elbow crease. The left elbow crease, I talk about this a lot because everything you put in that left forearm shoots right up into your heart. That's like how your body receives things. So all of those are wonderful places to apply this and any of the oils that we're talking about today. You can also diffuse this. I diffuse On Guard in our home constantly. And again, just breathe it in and affirm your protection. For adaptive, so I usually start my day with adaptive because I'm the kind of person that wakes up, and you may relate to this, and I have my to-do list of about 1,000,000 things, and I'm like, I have to get them all done. No, you don't, guys. No, you don't. Start with 2 things, but adaptive is a really good blend to help you take that mountain that seems like completely unattainable, and it just breaks it down into little bitty steps. And you do one thing, and you're like, oh, I did that. You do another thing, I did that, look at me. And it helps you make that shift. So anytime that you are feeling anxious, stressful, overwhelmed, diffuse this. Like I mentioned before, I like to put it over my throat. If I'm needing to speak with clarity, it's a good one to put before you're doing any public speaking. Maybe you have to have a difficult conversation with somebody. These are all wonderful times to bust out that adaptive. The adaptive is also available in a roller blend, which I've got here. So you can roll it over your throat. You can breathe it. I keep this in my purse because when I'm in traffic driving around DFW, it gets very stressful. And so I will roll it in my hands and just sit there in traffic, breathing in so that I can get home safely and nobody on the road is murdered because Casey has her adaptive blend, okay? So when you're breathing in, just breathe it in and affirm your truth. All right, so let's talk about the keys to protecting and nurturing your empathic gifts because they are gifts, guys. When you are fighting it and resisting everything, you're feeling all the things, sometimes it doesn't feel like a gift. And I hope that after this class, you feel empowered and you really are embracing the beautiful gift that you are as an empath. Now, these three keys, self-love, I'm talking about unconditional, unwavering love for you. It all starts with you. It sounds a little cliche, but if you're not loving yourself, how the heck can anybody else? Okay. And we do have, I'll talk about that in a second, but self-care. This is about prioritizing your needs above all else. I've always been big on self-care, but since becoming a mama, I've really discovered how important it is. Sasha, you can probably relate to this, right? If you're trying to pour from an empty cup, there's nothing to pour. If you are not taking care of yourself and you're trying to give to your kids, it just doesn't work out. Mama's really got to take time for yourself, just like everybody else, whether you've got kids or not. You really have to make sure that you're putting self-care at the top of your list, starting your day off right, making sure that you are in a good place so that you can show up as your best and most authentic self in this world. And self-awareness, this is huge. And this takes practice. So don't beat yourself up if the self-awareness part is especially difficult for you, but this is about discerning, clearing, and protecting your energy. So we're going to dive into each of these a little bit more. Self-love and self-care, this is the foundation. You are your divine task. As an empath, so many of us feel that it's our duty to save everyone around us, but you have to start with yourself. Putting other needs before your own is very natural for us empaths that have not awakened to their power. And hopefully after this class and working with us and in our group, you will truly fully awaken to your power and know how much of a gift you are, how much you have to offer this world. And allowing yourself to feel good, this actually increases your ability to serve others and shine your brightest. It is a learned skill. So I just wanted you guys to do a quick check-in with yourself now to kind of see maybe where you are on the path of self-love and self-care. And ask yourself honestly, do you feel guilty when you practice self-care? If anything, any feelings come up or for you on that, just acknowledge them. Don't shame yourself, just acknowledge them. All right, but I do want to let you guys know that we do offer self-care workshops. These are amazing. They really help you create individualized self-care routines with personalized essential oil protocols and just daily routines that can really help you feel your best so that you can show up fully in this world. So if you'd like more information on when the next self-care workshop is coming up, go ahead and reach out to your oil mentor. All right, so let's get into the oils to support self-love. The first one is bergamot. You guys hear me talk about bergamot a lot, right? it's one of my favorites for self-love because it's the oil of self-acceptance. So if you are feeling low self-esteem, self-judgment, maybe you keep catching yourself saying really mean things to yourself, that if you heard somebody saying that to your best friend, you'd be on a warpath, right? Well, how are you talking to yourself? That matters. That really matters. So this is a great oil, bergamot. It's a beautiful citrus, and it helps you shift into feeling that you're good enough, that you're worthy. It's a very uplifting, happy oil. So it's definitely my go-to when I am fighting with depression, but it just helps you feel more lovable because you start with loving yourself. Rose is another one of my favorites for this. Whenever I'm feeling wounded, if my heart's feeling like really tight and constricted, maybe I'm feeling unloved or I'm like rejecting all love. Like if anybody tries to be nice to me, I'm like, no, I don't deserve to be being nice to. Like you need to bust out your rose, okay? And it will really help you shift into feeling more accepted, loved, and show yourself some compassion. Now, what about patchouli? Oh my goodness, this is a really beautiful earthy oil. Maybe you are experiencing shame. Shame, guys, guilt, those are the lowest vibrations in the universe. It's as low as they get. It's actually lower than cancer. So if you have been feeling shame and guilt, especially towards yourself, it's going to manifest as something physical. It just does. So patchouli helps you move out of judgment and get more connected to your body. This is also a favorite for Anybody who's experienced any kind of trauma, after trauma, you often disassociate from your body. It doesn't feel safe in your body. You don't want to be in your body. So patchouli can help you feel safe, help you feel secure. I love to use this to get more balanced, feel more confident and connected to myself, and just to feel safe in your body. So let's talk about how to use these oils. For bergamot, when you're needing that upliftment, you're needing to feel that self-love and acceptance, add a couple drops to your diffuser. Or put a drop. I like to put this actually below my neckline, on my heart. And I say below my neckline because bergamot is a citrus that is highly photosensitive. So do not put bergamot or any of our citruses on your skin and then go out for a beautiful walk in the sunshine, because you will get a nasty burn. You want to put that on an area that's covered by clothing, so that it's not going to be exposed to the sun. But put that over your heart, take that residual oil and hold those cupped hands over your face, and take some deep breaths, breathing in and affirming, I accept my whole self, even the shadow side. Rose, if you want to use this one to roll it over your heart space or along the left elbow crease, again, take that residual oil in your hands, cup it over your face, breathing in and affirm, I am loved as I am. Or whatever affirmation. These are just examples. If you have your own affirmations, you go for it. Or if you guys have any affirmations that you love to use, please share them in the comments so other people can get some ideas. But these are just some of the ones, the easy ones that I bust out. And then patchouli. So with patchouli, because the need to really feel safe and grounded, I like to put this on my root chakras. So the bottoms of your feet, maybe the base of your tailbone. It's a really good place, especially for those of us who have experienced trauma. The base of your tailbone is a wonderful place to feel safe and grounded. And I like to diffuse or apply this before intimacy, because that's like, I feel more than any other time that you really need to feel safe and secure in your body. So breathe that in and affirm, I am whole and beautiful. I am safe. I am secure. Whatever you need to tell yourself right there to feel better. All right. Now, what do you do when you feel everything? So many empaths are becoming aware that they are empaths for the first time ever, just from the past year and a half. People are becoming really awakened as to what that means. But self-awareness must be learned in practice. A big thing that empaths struggle with is emotional discernment. So maybe you're feeling everything. You're feeling all the feels and you're like, why am I feeling like this? I don't even have any reason to be upset right now. You're probably absorbing some things around you that are not yours. So a practice that you can do, and again, you have to practice it, it takes a lot of practice, is constantly checking in on your emotions and asking yourself, is this mine or is this someone else's? And it does get easier with time. It's really hard at first. I'm not going to lie. It's very hard. Like sometimes you're just like, I don't know. I just feel it. I don't know if it's mine. But it takes some practice. You will start to be able to differentiate if it's yours or somebody else's energy. And I am going to share some cleansing practices with you and some ways to establish those healthy boundaries, because we want to be able to support those people in our lives, our loved ones and friends, but we don't want to take on what's not ours to take on, because then we can't help them because we're in it too, right? Okay. So tea tree or melaleuca, if you had to get like 2 oils from this class, tea tree and on guard are going to be those 2. But this is my favorite oil for energetic clearing. I use this after energetically draining situations. And that's not always bad, right? Sometimes we may feel really drained after a good experience. Maybe we had an amazing time somewhere, or maybe we were just around too many people, or something was just so fantastic and we're just feeling a little bit drained. So tea tree can help you. It's not just with the bad, taking on bad emotions, but sometimes you just maybe took on too much. Tea tree is also a great oil to combat overwhelm or overstimulation. I love to use this to clear other people's emotions that I've absorbed. So if you've done your discernment practice and you've realized, okay, I am feeling this way and it is not mine, bust out the tea tree. And we're going to use this in the energy clearing exercise in just a moment. I'll show you how to utilize this. But a very simple, easy thing you can do at any time is to just apply the tea tree up your left arm or over your heart space. Take the residual oil, cup it over your face, and breathe deeply. And I would recommend breathing it in like a minute, absolute minimum. But if you can sit there for like 2-3 minutes, that's really going to help you make that full shift. And if you don't have tea tree, some other oils that are great for clearing energy: lemongrass, clary sage, rosemary, cypress, and this is not on here, but Litsea. Many of us were, if you were lucky enough to get the free Litsea a few months back, Litsea has been one of my favorites. I also like to put the oils right on the tops of my shoulders. You may feel where you carry your energy. I know my partner, Becky, she carries all the energy in her spine. It's all right here, right in the middle of her back or at the base of her spine. So, do your body scans and notice where you're carrying this energy and apply it directly to that area. But if you're just like, I don't know, I don't even know what to do right now, just put it on your left arm, put it over your heart, and breathe deeply. Forgive is a blend. This is our renewing blend. And this helps to release bitterness, resentment, anger, and negative energy. And it's not just towards other, but maybe you're feeling those things towards yourself. I honestly probably use forgive more for anger at myself than other people. And same thing, over your left elbow crease, over your heart, and breathing it in, or wherever you feel that you're carrying that tension in your body. Now I have to throw breathe in here. This is our respiratory blend. So physically it's wonderful. Oh my gosh, if you've been having a stuffy nose or cough, congestion, it is fantastic for opening up your airways. But I'm gonna get vulnerable with you guys. This is like my go-to oil for panic attacks. Or if I like really need to cry or need to breathe and I'm freaking out too much to do so, breathe is very helpful for that. Because when you are having a panic attack or you're holding on to grief, which that's where, if you didn't know, grief is stored in your lungs. So that may be why you're not able to breathe very well. But this helps open up those airways. It just forces them open. That peppermint, the eucalyptus in this blend, cardamom, just opens all those airways up. So when you're like, or just holding your breath and not breathing at all, breathe helps you take those deep breaths. Okay, so let's take a moment now to talk about this clearing your energy exercise. I actually recommend setting a timer so that you're not like focused on time and looking at your clock constantly, but you just want to set 3 minutes aside. You can sit or stand still, but placing your feet on the earth, especially if you can be like in bare feet in the dirt, in the grass, that's going to be the most helpful. You're going to breathe in and out as deeply as possible. So take whatever oil that you needed from what we just learned, apply it to your hands, cup that over your face, and breathe as deeply as you can. When you're like really having a panic attack or having a moment, I actually find it helpful to like breathe until it almost hurts. Like I can't breathe anymore, and hold it and hold it and hold it and then let it all out. And you can breathe so much deeper when you do that. But I like to actually picture, as I'm breathing, picture roots growing up through the earth, up into your legs and through your body until they exit out the top of your head. And on each exhale, feel anything that doesn't serve you just fall away and being given back into the earth. Mother Earth can take it. She knows what to do with that energy. And with every breath, you picture those roots becoming more illuminated with healing light. And that light is going to cleanse you of anything you no longer need. Thank you, but I no longer need you. I'm just going to release you. And you can repeat an affirmation aloud while breathing in your oils once more to really kind of solidify and close out this practice. This is very simple. You can do it anywhere. You can do it in your car. I actually had a really, I had a panic attack in the Apple store yesterday. I went to downtown Galleria, Dallas. I was not ready for that. And my phone broke, so I didn't know how to get home. It was just a really intense experience. And I had a panic attack, and I literally had to go step outside, get up against the wall and do this just so I could get home safely. So you can do this anywhere, people. All right, so let's talk about some boundaries. And I love this quote from Brene Brown. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. But here's the thing, guys. You're not going to disappoint others by setting these healthy boundaries. It's actually one of the most loving things you can do for yourself and other people, because boundaries are empowered acts of self-love that lead to feelings of security. So again, fill your cup first so you can show up for yourself and others better. Just to get into the different types of boundaries really quickly, physical boundaries, these are boundaries around your physical limits and personal space needs. So as a mom, I take physical boundaries, I set those up all the time. I tell the kids, I need my time. I'm gonna take 5 minutes to myself and then I'll be back. And I'll physically distance myself from that. Or personal space. Maybe you're in a heated argument with somebody and you're like, I need 5 minutes or I need an hour. I'll be back at this time to finish this discussion. But right now I need that space to feel better. Emotional boundaries. These are boundaries around how you feel, who you engage with, and what parts of yourself you share. Resource boundaries. These are around your time and energy. So a lot of empaths I hear really struggle with saying no. You're constantly saying, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And you didn't mean it at all. It's really not aligned with you, or you have too much on your plate already, but you feel like you're going to let that other person down by saying no. And that's not the case. Material boundaries. Boundaries are around boundaries around your things, how they're used and how they're treated. So maybe you have a roommate who's constantly taking your clothes and disrespecting you in that way. You can set up a healthy boundary there. So just some examples. And if you guys need help with any of these topics, just reach out. But some example for material boundaries, I don't allow people to drive my car. I'm uncomfortable with that. Or you're welcome to wear my clothes, just please bring them back the next day. Physical boundaries, these sound like I've had a really tough week and I need some time to myself to rest, or please don't touch me like that. These are all totally valid, safe, and okay to say. Resource boundaries sound like I can come and I'm only able to stay for an hour before I head home. Or Saturday afternoons is the time I recharge, so I won't be available then. Emotional boundaries can sound like I'm not in a good headspace to support you around this right now. Or do you have the ability to listen for about 15 minutes while I share what's been happening for me recently? So you want to make sure you're also asking that other person too, respecting their boundaries when you need somebody to hold space for you. A very good friend of mine, we do this for each other. She's not on the call today. She's watching the recording, but and I've had to do this where I was not in a good place to support her, and I had to speak that aloud because I knew I wouldn't really be able to be there for her if I'm struggling myself, right? So I needed to tell her, hey, today I'm having a day myself. Can we talk tomorrow? I really want to be there for you fully. I want to be present to be able to support you, and I just can't do that right now. And she was so happy that I spoke that because she needed somebody to hold full space for her. And she knew that I got her back and I would be there for her, but it just wasn't going to work for either of us in that moment. So it actually is an act of love for yourself and the other person when you can verbalize these boundaries. Now, On Guard is one of my favorite oils to use for energetic boundaries. It is great to diffuse or wear around those energy vampires. Y'all know who they are in your life. You don't have to say, you know who they are. These are people that just interacting with them, whether you're in person or virtually or whatever, they just kind of suck your energy. So On Guard is a great blend to use to protect against other people's energies, particularly in large crowds or high stress situations. So if you are, venturing out into the world again and having a hard time with that, I did not have my on guard with me yesterday, and I needed it. But definitely bust that out when you're feeling vulnerable and unsafe. This is my favorite oil blend to use during the energetic shielding exercise, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But with On Guard, apply it up your spine, over your heart space, again with that carrier oil, because it's one of the warmer ones, and breathe it deeply in, affirming that you are protected, you are safe, whatever your affirmation is. If you don't have the On Guard blend, you may go for clove or cinnamon, tea tree, or vetiver. These are other options. So the shielding exercise. For this one, you want to find a quiet space and check your body language. Are your shoulders back and energetically empowered? You may want to get in the Superman or Superwoman stance. Stand up with your legs spread a little bit wider than hip width apart, with your hands on your hips, shoulders back. I mean, just standing like that. If you guys want to do that in your chairs, or if you're standing, just do that for a moment, and you can feel your energy shift. So get in that quiet space, get in that stance. And again, set that timer so you're not constantly checking your watch. Set it for 5 to 10 minutes. This one takes a little bit longer, and you're going to apply your protective or grounding oils. Breathe them in as deeply as possible and envision the earth energy pulling up your body all the way up to your crown. And continue to inhale and hold your breath at the top of your head as long as you can. And you can't hold it any longer, let everything go. And you're going to repeat this breathing exercise 5 times. Begin envisioning cleansing white light dripping on you as the light pours on you. Picture it removing anything heavy and filling your energy field. So your energy field should be completely filled with this white light. It's like a bubble of white light protection. Like nothing can penetrate that. And to really strengthen it even further, you can envision the words of your favorite affirmation or prayer or mantra, and envision those words like written on that bubble, just shielding you completely. A lot of the tools and practices that were discussed in this workshop were actually taken from this wonderful book. If you have not read it yet, if you don't have it in your collection, every empath should. It's fantastic. The Empath Experience, What to Do When You Feel Everything. If you'd need help getting that, just reach out to me. I'd love to shoot you a link. So what now? What do I do now? If you haven't yet, reach out to your oil mentor to get your free wellness consult. We would love to help you get support with any physical, emotional, or spiritual goal that you have. We could do it for yourself or your entire family. It takes about 30 minutes. If you want any of the oils from today's class and you're not yet a member, reach out to your oil mentor. And if you are a member, make sure you're ordering through the Loyalty Rewards program so you get some freebies. And if you'd like to share either this class or another class that we offer with any friends or family, you actually get rewarded for doing so. So again, just reach out to your oil mentor if you'd like more information on that. I'm going to go ahead and check the chat box and make sure I'm not missing any questions. Okay, so Adarias asked, what is the best way to get the best results for your oil? Topically or aromatherapy, breathing it in, inhaling? Awesome question, Adarias. So I actually would recommend using these oils in as many ways as possible. So if all of the oils that we talked about are recommended for aromatic and topical use, but many of them can also be used internally. So when you're able to use them all 3 ways, use them all 3 ways. If it's just recommended to use aromatically or topically, use them both ways. And that's why I like to apply them to the body and then take that residual oil and breathe it in. So you are getting, both uses there. And anytime that you are applying oils topically, it's always best to dilute with a carrier oil. Diluting your oils actually makes them more effective. It's making them last longer. They absorb better. And yeah, they just work better. So diluting oils is really the way to go. Sasha asks, are these oils edible? Awesome question. Thank you, Shelly, for jumping in there. Yeah, so sometimes they are, and you'll know if an oil is recommended for internal use. Like I've got a bottle of fennel here, and this has a supplemental facts label on it. So just like you have a nutritional facts label on your food, any of the oils have supplemental facts labels on there are good for internal use. Adarias asks, would patchouli work for working with children with childhood trauma, long overdue trauma? Yeah, patchouli is a wonderful one for that. And depending on what type of trauma, there may be a better fit, but that's like the go-to for just feeling safe and secure in your body, feeling grounded. But everybody is different. So if you like hate smell patchouli, maybe On Guard would be better suited for you. I'm not going to be offended, guys, if you like hate the scent of one of these ones I'm talking about. Everybody's body is different. Everybody, your limbic system responds in different ways. So for me, patchouli is like brings out really wonderful memories of safety and security. And maybe somebody else had a totally different experience with patchouli in their past, and it's like a trigger for them. So it's all good, guys. There are so many options. These oils are very versatile. So if one doesn't sit well with you, there's many other options. Otherwise, you have awesome questions. Okay, I think that's everything in the chat box. Did anybody have anything that popped up since then that they'd like to ask? Don't be shy. If you've got a question, I'm sure somebody else needs to hear it. All right. Does anybody have any shares? Would anybody like to share a way that they've used oils, or you've done any clearing practices that maybe the group might benefit from? Yes, Adarias. Oh, take yourself off mute if you'd like to share.
I'm so sorry. But I usually will try to meditate maybe like 2 to 3 times out of the week. And I realized that when I put balance on my mat and underneath my ears, I have more of a stronger sense of like what I'm trying to manifest in that time period.
Beautiful. Yes,
Mhm.
I've been loving that you've been getting more into meditation and incorporating these
Mhm.
tools to really enhance and deepen that experience. Thank you so much for sharing that, Adarias.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Would anybody else like to share? Shelly, yes.
Yes, I know that I did a protocol with Desiree Mingendog a little while ago, and she was suggesting that we do like 3 steps to our protocols. And the first one that she does is always with the tea tree oil, and to put it on the crown chakra, just to like cleanse everything that we have going on.
Mm.
And of course, use the affirmations. And there's another protocol along with the first I would put the tea tree on, and then I would put the bergamot and patchouli over my heart. And that was kind of like she said, the second step is nourishing, and that was like nourishing my body, mind, and soul, or whatever. And then she had a third step called harmonize, and that was to put the rose on, on the elbow creases and over the heart also. So I love that
Mm.
step, like clear, nourish, and then harmonize. It was just, I don't
Mhm.
know, I like that. It works for me.
Yeah, that is
Oh,
amazing.
I
Thank
love
you so much
that.
for sharing that. And yeah, so she
Mhm.
was talking about Desiree Magnendog. I always have a hard time pronouncing her name, but this woman is a beautiful intuitive healer. She has
Mhm.
several books. The first in the series is I Am Worthy. So if you guys would like any help getting a hold of more tools and books and things like that, courses and programs that really dive into that, just reach out to me and I'd love to hook you up with that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Shelly. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Any practices that you do to help? All right. I know empaths can be a little shy sometimes. I'll give you guys
Mhm.
another moment to see if anybody wants to speak. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Again, if you'd like a one-on-one session to help go over your physical, emotional, or spiritual goals, they are available to you for free at all times. And your oil mentor is ready to help you get plugged into our oil community. And we've got some, oh, thank you, Shelly. So she just shared Desiree's page in there.
Mm.
Wonderful resource there. Yeah, but we're here to help. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. I'm going to end the recording and we'll just say hi off camera. All right. Oops. Stop recording.